first time they used them was 9/11. 10 minutes after the airplane hit the tower, the first airplane hit the tower, they were on their way to Jenin to blow up houses. Why is that? I can tell you what he says, the soldier that was interviewed. The big brother wasn't looking, wasn't watching. So that's how much things are connected. In newspaper I saw an article about confiscation, car keys confiscation. When you detain car to enforce curfew, when you detain cars because they just passed the line that close to a checkpoint, whatever. And it's not the article and the soldier that brought out more or less 100 car keys and brought it to the press, but the response of the spokesman, of the IDF, the spokesman of the IDF, that said, this is an extreme case, a rotten apple, it will be checked, examined, and won't happen again. And now, I gave the order to take Palestinian car keys and to detain cars hundreds of times in my unit. I saw in the West Bank boxes full of car keys and IDs that were taken and were supposed to be returned, and then I know my father read the newspaper before me, and I know that he believes. I mean, he's from a different generation where things maybe were better, or when people could believe the system, and he really thinks that this is an extreme case that won't happen again. And for me, it was a point of understanding that I'm not backed for what I did. And I didn't do it for fun. I got my orders. I thought it was okay. I thought I was a part of a system that protects Israel from terror attacks. And then I understand that it's just a game of keeping information inside and not letting anybody know. And how can you criticize? How can you ask questions? And that was maybe one of the first times that I asked, what's going on here? You hear the radio or news and TV saying IDF forces return fire to sources of fire. Now you know that we were shooting everywhere. You know that there is no such thing in daylight, sources of fire in urban areas, and
in nighttime.
You know that you can't really, from a barrack far away, you can't really see most of the time the exact place you're shooting at, and that sources of fire, which as a soldier you know that it's just a title, good for the news, but and this dissonance, we didn't hear it while serving. Breaking silence, try to fight a code of silence which has many aspects. First of all, and the most important one as we see it, is the personal one. When you stand in a post or in a checkpoint, and I commanded Kalandia checkpoint between Jerusalem and Ramallah, where almost 3,000 Palestinians cross every day, and your job, even if you don't want to do it, you stop people from living the life that they should have. You take their freedom to go to work, you take their freedom to go to university, and many times, even if you don't want to do it, you humiliate people, you make them stand in line for hours, and when you go back home after a month of doing it, you have a weekend break, you don't come home to your girlfriend or to your mother and say, hey, the day before yesterday I saw somebody more or less your age, mommy, and I let her wait in the sun for 5 hours because I didn't have a permission to let her pass. I mean, that daily life of occupation, of controlling people, is the first aspect of the silence code. Breaking the silence is a personal process. It's something, first of all, it's not an easy thing to look at yourself in the mirror and see what you really have done, and the other side, it's a very good feeling to feel a hero, to talk about the fights, the times that you were fighting terrorists and that you saw them, but realizing the damage for the population, realize the hatred that you've created, is a hard thing. And when we call people friends, when we have telephones from units in the army and we start calling to people, most of them say, we kind of agree with what you're doing, some agree more, some less, but leave me alone. I mean, I've served, I've done it, I've left the country for a year to forget about it. I'm back here, just let go. And so it's not that easy to get people to talk, even if they agree with the total idea. But we've, as Avichai said, we've interviewed over 300 soldiers, and you need to understand that's not a 1 hour interview. It's or TV interview. Someone tells you about 2 years or 3 years out of his life. First, I'll quote my Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Israel, that said that the public opinion in the U.S. is the most powerful weapon that the IDF has, or that Israel has. And I think in this case he's right. And I think that the public opinion here and society here immunes us and enable us to do many things that in my opinion are bringing to our social destruction. And I can give you another extreme example, which a soldier that Avichai interviewed, right? One of us interviewed, and he's in a unit, that engineer unit. They're actually, what they're doing is to blow up things, bridges, houses, and the IDF didn't use them at the beginning of that intifada. The first time they used them was 9/11. 10 minutes after the airplane hit the tower, the first airplane hit the tower, they were on their way to Jenin to blow up houses. Why that? I can tell you what he says. The soldier that was interviewed, the big brother wasn't looking, wasn't watching. So that's how much things are connected. And I think we realized after the second campaign that after the campaign of the rule of engagement and the systematic reason for innocent casualties, we realized that it was well publicized, but it didn't bring up any real debate in society. And because there are many reasons. The most powerful one, I think, is that these are things that you can't criticize. I mean, you can't classify as rotten apple. It's hard for society to face. And I think we realized that there is a bigger game going on, that we're not the only player in this game, and that's why we're here.